Your house is built on an old lava field, so there's like lava running through over here, and it's just crazy. And
Actual lava running through? Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. So, we have a video today, how homes in Iceland are different than the USA. So, I was going to look for a video about Norway. As you can see in my search here, I typed in, how is Norway different from America? And I seen a few, I seen other people reacting to like the Norway's prison and stuff like that, which I've already done reactions to. But then I seen this one pop up. And it's how homes in Iceland are different than the USA. I'm going to go ahead and hit subscribe on this. The original channel is Iceland with a View. So, yeah, you can find the links to the original video in the description section down below, as always. And go ahead and drop a like while you're down there, huh? Smash that thumbs up button, guys. It helps more than you know, right? Subscribe to the channel if that's what you want to do. Again, it helps a lot. Helps me get to that 100,000 subscriber goal that I'm reaching for. So we're going to find out about Iceland and their homes.
the homes in Iceland are very different from the homes around the world, especially compared to the US, where I'm from. Since you guys have loved some of my life in Iceland videos, I thought it would be fun to talk about the big ways that the homes in Iceland are different. Hi, I'm Jeannie, and I've lived in Iceland for 8 years, so I've had a lot of time to notice the differences. The homes in Iceland compared to the US. Let's get into it. The first big difference is in the building materials that they use.
Yeah, here in the United States, people joke about it being houses being built out of cardboard, which isn't too far off from the truth, but it's just it's like flimsy pine 2x4s with like plywood over top of that, and then of course like your plastic siding, vinyl siding or whatever on the outside, and then like usually drywall on the inside or paneling or something of the sort.
Picture this. Iceland is built on volcanic fault lines, meaning that there are constant earthquakes, and it's also on an island, meaning that there are high winds from leftover hurricanes. Between earthquakes and hurricane winds, these homes have to withstand a lot of harsh elements. So it's very, very common for these homes to be built with concrete at the bare minimum. So the most common building material is concrete.
Bare minimum. That's a sturdy house. I wonder if they use brick and stuff, or like, that'd be kind of cool to make like bricks out of volcanic stone and use that. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know if it'd be viable or not, but
this is what's going to be able to withstand some of those harsh rain and wind elements, as well as the earthquakes. A lot of homes in the US especially are constructed out of wood. That simply is not going to stand it in Iceland. They're going to be blown down or knocked over from the latest earthquake. So huge difference. Overall, a lot of the homes are more of the apartment or flat style. People do live in standalone homes, especially more so in the countryside. Yeah. But in Reykjavik, where most of the population lives,
Reykjavik. That's actually, I've been seeing a lot of stuff. So Grindavik had the volcanic eruption and the fissures and stuff like that, and it got evacuated. There was a guy that fell into one of the fissures and they never found him. Very sad. And yeah, so they evacuated the homes there, and they're actually, I think the government's talking about like trying to relocate Grindavik, like maybe just building a whole new town or something. I'm not sure exactly. But I didn't watch any of the videos, but Reykjavik or whatever she said, the volcanoes are waking up. There's earthquakes there. I guess the land is rising because Iceland is built on, it's just all volcanic activity. Like it's just, I mean, it used to not be an island. It was just an ocean. And then of course, volcano, kind of like Hawaii, they're volcanic islands, right? And because of that, people actually make Icelandic brown bread, where they'll basically make like a rye bread, their version of it, and dig a hole in the ground because there's a lot of heat down in the ground from the lava, and they'll dig a hole down in the ground and they'll like wrap it up, and they'll put it in like these metal pots or whatever, and then they'll wrap that up, and then they'll bury it for like a day or so. And then it literally bakes the bread in the ground. It's really, really cool.
a lot of people will live in a condo style building. So it's not uncommon for even a family of 4 or 6 people to live in one small apartment style home.
Okay.
Moving inside of the homes in Iceland, a huge difference that I've noticed is that they don't use carpet. Everything is either hardwood or stone ceramic floors.
Yeah, I have a floor like that, very similar to that in my house, actually. It's like laminate flooring. It's like fake hardwood. I think it's a lot better. I think carpet's gross. Yes, of course, it's comfortable. It's nice to walk around on, but it just harbors so much dust and you can sweep it. You could spend all day long sweeping your carpet, but it's not really gonna get, you know. I used to do a lot of construction and stuff, remodeling houses and whatnot in the past, and you might see carpet that looks pretty decent, or just, replacing the carpet in somebody's house for them, and you rip it up, and there's always just a nasty layer of dust under it. It doesn't matter how much you sweep it, you're not going to get all that dust out. It just harbors dust. And after I started seeing that kind of stuff, I started not liking carpet. I used to hate hardwood floors, you know, but they're so much cleaner. Just get some rugs. You can clean the rugs a lot easier than the actual carpet.
In the US, it's very common to have almost all surfaces, minus maybe the kitchen or the bathrooms, in carpet. In Iceland, they do not do that. Maybe they'll buy a rug for the area, but hardwood.
There's no carpet in my house. I don't like it.
The next major difference of the homes in Iceland is the heating source. Almost all of the homes in Iceland are using geothermal energy,
Yep.
which is a renewable source of energy, very, very commonly sourced in Iceland. This is a really, really big difference compared to, for example, in the US, where homes are powered by like natural gas or oil or even electricity. And
I'm using space heaters right now, actually. I don't have my gas hooked up. And my furnace, I got to get a new thermostat for the wall. So I got like a little oil, kind of like a radiator heater, basically. And then I got another one that's like an electric heater, but it gets pretty good, comfortable in here. And of course, I got a fireplace, which I got to split logs, and I don't like that part, but you got to do what you got to do. It's nice and cozy, though, having a fireplace. It's very nice just having a nice fire burning, have the lights dimmed, kicked back on the couch all comfortable. I love it.
one of the loveliest things about this is that the floors are commonly heated in Iceland.
Ooh, nice.
And it's a huge difference maker, especially with the cold climate, is that the floors are heated, especially in a bathroom or around the laundry room area, so that your feet feel warm and therefore your whole body feels warmer. It's just cozier inside because all of the flooring surfaces are hardwood to begin with, and now they're heated. It's really, really nice.
Nice.
Another feature that you will probably see, especially in some of the accommodations, is that they have the heated towel racks. This is really nice because now you're just hanging your towel or your rug on the heated towel racks, which helps them dry faster, but also warm up for right when you get out of the shower. By the way, before I head on to my next point, if you guys love these life in Iceland style videos, give me a thumbs up and also let me know in the comments any other topics that you're wanting to see on this channel.
Yeah, I actually subscribed. You guys should go check out her channel and hit subscribe too if you want to check out more about Iceland.
On to what I think is the biggest difference, and that is the size of the homes. All right, so in general, Icelanders live in smaller homes all around. This is probably not just unique to Iceland, but it does ring true in Iceland. And I would say one of the main reasons is that building materials are expensive, and a lot of things have to be brought to Iceland to build. So that's probably a factor. But one of the things that you might notice is that, especially in the city of Reykjavik, a lot of people live in apartment style or condo style homes.
Hopefully that volcano doesn't destroy that city. She said that's where the most of the people live, so I'm assuming this is the most populated city. That's not good if it's gonna possibly have a volcano soon.
Meaning that there could be like a 4 or 6 story building, and then inside there you have different flats or apartment style homes. So even if you have a family of 4 to 6 people, they're living in what Americans would call apartments or condos.
Okay,
This is
yeah.
common to Icelanders, and they don't mind living in closer quarters with their families. And so there's not these huge 3 or 4 story homes where the family is spread out throughout the house. A big bonus of this smaller space of living is that it is more energy efficient. So you're not
I
having to
bet.
heat a big, huge 3,000 square foot home every.
My house is actually it's a mobile home. It's not like the biggest around. I mean, it's sort of small, and I don't mind it. I feel like the bigger your house is, the more crap you end up collecting, and just the more stuff you have. And I already got too much stuff as it is. I want to downsize. I want to be more minimalistic and everything. And having a smaller place kind of definitely helps with that.
Energy efficient. So you're not having to heat a big, huge 3,000 square foot home. Everything is
I like
much
that
more
kitchen.
contained. Along with this is it's very common to share a garage space. So again, if you
Okay.
have a big shared building, then having an underground parking space, which
Look,
everyone
a little guy just roaming through. Just a little tiny guy. Reminds me of my son. Although my son's a little bit older than that, but yeah, that's awesome.
you have a big shared building, then having an underground parking space, which everyone shares together, is very, very common. Shared outdoor spaces along the same line, so maybe a lot of people will have a little mini park in the middle of their apartment group cluster, or have a park nearby, rather than having everyone has their own individual backyard with their own play set and everything like that.
The whole thing about having an individual backyard, it sounds all nice and everything. When we first moved here, we had a massive yard compared to the one that we had before at our previous place. And we got a front yard and a backyard. They're both really, really, really big. And at first I was like, oh man, this is going to be great. I soon realized it's a lot of work. I don't use most of the yard. Most of it's just there. It's just there. It does nothing but just be there. You know what I mean? And there's like small portions of it I use. I got some apple trees out back. I like to sit out there in the summertime, put a nice little table and some chairs there, go out there, drink my coffee in the morning, or maybe out front on the porch or next to the porch under this little thing that I have, it keeps in the shade, right? And then of course, my son, we'll run out there, we'll kick the ball around and play catch and different things like that, but only in a small portion of the yard. The rest of it is just there for me to have to mow, for me to have to take care of. It's just extra work.
It's efficient. Moving inside the house with size, and this is probably the most shocking as an American moving to Iceland, is the size of all the little things like the appliances. Noticing things like the refrigerator size, the oven size, the washing machine size. Oh man, there has been so many funny things.
Well, that fridge is small. That's like what we would consider like a camping fridge, like what you would have in like an RV. And that oven's pretty small. I don't even have an oven right now. I don't have the gas hooked up, like I was saying earlier, and it's a gas stove. So I don't have one yet. We've only been here like about not even a year, actually. It was a fixer upper. But I have hot plates, and I have a toaster oven, and I have an air fryer, which doubles as an oven. And it's pretty small, but like I get by. You know what I mean? I actually got homemade bread over there. I'm waiting for it to rise probably another hour or so. It'll be rose enough and I can smash it, punch out the air bubbles. I'm making homemade breadsticks with some garlic, butter. It's going to be great. I can't wait. But I get by without like a massive stove. And honestly, I'm kind of thinking about not even buying a giant stove because I don't really need it too much. And it just takes up too much space anyhow.
When we first moved to Iceland, we did not bring anything other than our clothing. But after
Right.
living there for several years, we finally decided, okay, we want some of our stuff from the US. So we actually had it shipped over. And when I finally got some of my big kitchen gear in there, it was literally too big for the appliances. Another huge difference is the size of the refrigerator. And so for this, it's like you can't buy too many groceries because
And it's better that way. There's less waste and you have fresher food. That's one thing that is a downfall of America is everybody has a massive fridge and they want to go buy a bunch of groceries that last like a week or two before they have to go to the store again. It just, I wish things were more like the rest of the world here. honestly.
of the refrigerator. And so for this, it's like you can't buy too many groceries because it's not going to fit. The size of refrigerators in Iceland is roughly half the size of refrigerators in the US. So
Okay, so that
again,
one's
this is
that one's actually not the size of the one that she showed earlier. This one is a little bit bigger than what you would get in a camper. I mean, I guess you could get like one of those real nice, massive campers. They might have one like that, but that is definitely a little bit smaller than my fridge. Not a whole lot though. I mean, I guess yeah. But I got a side by side where you got the fridge on one side and the freezer on the other.
size of refrigerators in the US. So again, this is a European thing. If you watch House Hunters International, this is a common thing that people talk about. The washing machines, like again, half the size. I cannot believe when I go visit my mom how big her washing machine is. I'm like, oh my gosh, you have to do half the amount of laundry that I do. Another thing that you might not notice for traveling in Iceland, but living in Iceland is that a washer and dryer combination is not always standard because there's not space for it. And sometimes the washing machine is in the bathroom rather than in its own standalone room. So that again, like all more space saving situation.
I don't even have a washer and dryer. We have to use a laundromat, which sucks. I'm gonna get one at some point. Again, it's a fixer-upper, and it's been a lot of work, guys. I tell you what, it's been exhausting. I'm losing I'm losing some hairline here, with all the stress fixing this place up.
The joys.
The joys,
next
yeah.
difference in the homes in Iceland is the design.
Okay,
Homes
yeah.
in Iceland tend to be on the more minimalist and modern spectrum. And I would say that their homes are focused on function and simplicity. This is something that I have really grown to like over the years.
I like
in
that, though.
comparison
That looks-
to, for example, homes that I know firsthand from the US, which have a variety of design elements like big archways and vaulted ceilings and so many cabinets. I'm telling you the things that I have noticed over the years.
I wish I had more cabinet space, actually. I love to cook food. I really do. I cook food like an old lady, to be honest with you, which is shocking. You know, I'm a 37-year-old man from America. You wouldn't think that I know how to cook anything. I cook. I love cooking food. Like I said, I got homemade breadsticks I'm about to be making. I can't wait.
But it just goes along with the size situation.
looks
When you
nice.
are in a smaller size, your design has to be more functional. Think, for example, if you've ever been to IKEA and how creative they get in some of the like spaces and storage organization systems that they have. That's basically because when you shrink down the size of a house, you just have to have some more of that creativity in fitting everything into one space.
You know, she keeps showing this and talking about how small it is. Like, some of that looks more roomy than my place. It really does. Like that looks nice. Like I would have no problem living there at all. I like that massive window setup though over there. Like that's really cool. You get nice views.
You just have to have some more of that creativity in fitting everything into one space. On top of that, it's just like the decorating style is more minimalist. It's more modern. There's clean lines, muted tones, a lot of natural colors. They're not decorating with word signs everywhere that say home. I don't know. It's a completely different design style. Scandinavian, Nordic, very clean, very minimalist. Two really interesting differences, and this one doesn't really fit under design, but in terms of like going into someone's house, never wear your outside shoes inside of someone's house in Iceland.
Yeah, I hear about that a lot. I think in the United States it's kind of split. Some people do, some people don't. We have been now where we moved before, no shoes in the house. Where we were at before that, no shoes in the house. But again, with this being a fixer-upper, there was a lot of damage to the house. The floors was just plywood. The laminate flooring I actually installed myself. So we were using our shoes in the house because we were living in it as we were fixing it up. And it was plywood, like chipboard kind of particle board floors before I got the laminate flooring in. And then so I didn't want to be running around barefoot and getting like wood chips in my feet and stuff. And then with all the construction that we were kind of doing, there's sawdust and this and that, and we're fixing it up and everything as we go. And then winter came around, and everything. And then the floors were kind of cold. I couldn't find my house shoes. So, with having hardwood floors though, they clean up pretty good, but I'm getting back to the point where I don't want shoes in the house anymore. And I actually don't wear my shoes in the house anymore. But I got slides like flip-flops, sandal, whatever you want. In fact, I'll show you. I got those, right? That's what I wear in the house. So not fully barefoot, but I don't use my outside shoes. I take them off at the door.
Complete difference. In the US, I know, for example, like if I walk into my mom's house, she'll be like, oh, just don't worry, just your shoes on. I'm like, but I was just outside and there's like dogs and here you have carpet here and it's gonna be dirty, and it doesn't matter. But in Iceland, this is like a complete no, do not. In fact, most Icelanders they'll leave their outdoor shoes by the door, and they have a separate pair of indoor shoes that they'll take with them around the house. Kind of like little slippers. This is not just Iceland. I know a lot of European countries do this.
That's what I do.
And then another thing that I've talked about this in a different video before, but in Iceland, the homes have separate duvets on the bed. As in, you get one and I get one. There's no one big comforter that goes over the bed. Each person gets their own blanket. The next feature,
I would kind of like that. Amy's a bed hog and a blanket hog. She'll roll over this way, and then she'll have the blanket all wrapped around her, and then she'll roll over the other way and roll the blanket with her, and then it takes it off of me, and then I got to pull it back. So that would be a plus, but at the same time, I like when she cuddles with me. I'm a cuddler, okay, guys? I know I'm like supposed to be a big tough guy, but I'm a cuddler, and it's easier to cuddle when you got one blanket.
comforter that goes over the bed. Each person gets their own blanket. The next feature that I see completely different in Iceland versus US, landscaping. Wow, oh my goodness. People in the US will spend hundreds or thousands of dollars to have the area outside of their house perfectly landscaped and manicured. Retaining walls, shrubs being trimmed, flowers planted. I don't even know because I've never owned a house.
Yeah, a lot of people do. That's like in the nicer neighborhoods, people that have the money, they'll have those massive, 3,000 square foot houses she's talking about with the big yards that are perfectly manicured and trimmed and all that kind of stuff. Not me. I want it to look nice. I don't want it to look trashy, but I don't spend, I mow it, I'll rake it if I need to. I'll pick up sticks and I got my nice little garden around the porch, and that's about it. I mean, I got a outdoor wood, like a fire pit with like a wood oven that I built. And I just used like cinder blocks and cement slabs and rocks that were already on the property. I didn't spend a dime on it. And I've made homemade loaves of bread in it before with a wood fire. It tasted amazing.
What all the things are, but it's like a whole thing, right? It's like your design style, but outside. In Iceland, this doesn't exist. First of all, usually people don't have an outdoor space like that they can do all that with, like I just said, because if you're living in a more condo style building, you don't have your own outdoor space. But
I wish I didn't, because again, it's a lot of work.
Also, even if you do have a home in Iceland, a standalone home, if you're living in the countryside or somewhere where you have a standalone home, not that common, there's usually lava outside. Like there are places that have grass, but a lot of places are just rugged, and your house is built on an old lava field, so there's like lava running through over here, and it's just crazy. And
actual lava running through? I mean, lately, definitely in some areas, but it's just a common thing all the time? That'd be kind of scary.
So it doesn't lend to keeping your yard perfectly manicured. Grass will grow and become green for a couple of months out of the year, but having these perfectly mowed lawns every couple of days throughout the summer, not important.
I hate mowing
just
yards.
Totally different. So these are the things that I have noticed over the years, and I hope you guys found this video interesting or helpful.
Actually,
maybe there's some things that you've noticed on your travels to Iceland. I'd love to hear in the comments below. Alrighty, my friends, I'll see you in the next video, but until then, happy planning.
Very cool, guys. So, yeah, Iceland houses built with cement at the bare minimum. The reason they don't have a lot of carpet is due to one of your differences. They heat their floors, not the air. Putting carpet over heated floors would make the heated floors less effective at heating the home. Very true. But also, carpet's gross. It says, I'm an Icelander in America, and I prefer the American walk-in closets, big fridge and big appliances, also big beds and bathrooms. I'm keeping the separate duvets, though, and the hardwood floors. Walk-in closets would be nice. I got clothes all over the place. I need to clean my room up. But nobody goes back there, and I only go back there to sleep, so it's not even a big deal. I don't think. I mean, you know. We started using separate comforters a long time ago due to medical needs. It was a game changer. It's one of the best things we did as a couple. No more fighting for blankets or one pushing the covers off while the other one is pulling them up. I actually give that as my marriage wisdom comment for weddings. Okay, I mean, you know, I'm a cuddler though. I like to cuddle, guys. I'm sorry. It says, everything described here is similar to the area around Stuttgart, Germany, where I lived in 92 and 93. I have to confess, I never got used to the aesthetic of Northern Europe, except for the restored historic town centers, which look amazing, by the way. Everything looked to me like a warehouse district or housing project. Combined with the perpetually overcast skies, I found it to be terribly depressing. I was so happy and relieved to get back to the big skies, the lush greenery, and wide open spaces of southwest Idaho. Idaho? It's nothing but potatoes and corn out there. And sorry to all the Idahoians or whatever you want to be called out there, but Idaho's not for me. I think it'd be worse than Indiana. Says right here, my family has always removed shoes when entering the house. It probably comes from the type of work that was done outside the home. It's a habit I grew up practicing and still practice it today. Most of the people I know consider it to be good manners to remove your shoes when entering someone's home. Yes, I always ask when I go to somebody's house, you know, do I need to take the shoes off? And 9 times out of 10, they say not to worry about it. So I don't. But, you know, of course, if they want me to take the shoes off, I will. And I would like to start making people take them off here. But my mom and stepdad comes over and they track dirt in sometimes, and which I love them. But, you know, at some point I'll have to start being like, okay, guys, we're gonna do the no shoes thing, which we do here. We don't wear our shoes in the house anymore. We did when we were building construction and you know, repairing things. But again, we have our house shoes and we got our outside shoes. But especially in the wintertime, that's the worst because you drag in snow and you know, and it melts all over the place and it's just terrible. But if you enjoy this, hit like, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads, and drop a comment down below if you live in Iceland, and let me know how it is over there, right? You guys have a super fun, awesome day, and I'll catch you in the next one. All right, bye.